Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of SKLARBRO Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pods,
AKA two Jews, no Harmon Killabrews,
aka one Sam and Couchy, two fans of Fauci,
AKA one egg, four legs,
aka two men, one Afghan between them,
AKA two guys, no surprise,
aka two Jews, no Rod Carews.
Okay.
Although, I would love it if Rod Carew was sitting right here.
He would be a Jew. He'd be
if Rod Carew was,
he's not a Jew. His wife was a Jew.
his wife was Jewish and he belonged to our uncle's synagogue.
They belonged.
They belonged to our uncle's synagogue. All right. It is Monday. We're recording this on Wednesday before. So a lot could happen between now and then. Like a lot. So we're recording this now.
This could feel anachronistic. That's
Right.
how much stuff
This could feel
happen.
like from another time. Remember that time in the pandemic when
Back in August, near the end of August. So obviously we're in the throes right now of terrible tragedy. It's an unnecessary tragedy in Wisconsin, in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Multiple tragedies. You got someone shooting a protester and trying to give themselves up, and then nothing happening there. You got cops shooting people in the back 7 times in front of their kids, using excessive force. Not saying that the person that they were trying to detain hadn't done anything wrong. We're just saying you don't shoot someone in the back 7 times.
Yeah. Get the net.
Excessive force. You got the NBA shutting down, essentially. We don't know if it's back by Monday in solidarity and in an attempt to try to affect real change. These are heady times. These are intense times. We're so happy to continue to bring you this show in the midst of all this.
and try and give you just a moment to breathe as you face these difficult times. Let's get into a couple of
Let's do
stories.
it. Let's do
okay.
it. Yeah.
Look, even though these are terrible, chaotic times, life is still going on for
Are
people.
you surprised by that, Ren? Because I am surprised that there are, I know people who, I've spoken to people recently, they're like, my life has changed some, but I'm pretty much doing what I was doing.
I mean, look, people are still going to work.
Yep.
Strip clubs are pivoting and sending strippers out to deliver food, which may or may not be a good idea.
We said that wasn't a great idea.
Drive-in comedy shows are happening.
Yeah.
Elon Musk and Grimes are having babies.
Well, they had one baby.
One baby they had.
With many numbers in his name.
The Postmaster General is still pulling up post office boxes.
And removing sorting machines.
So,
business as usual.
This is what's
Trying
happening.
To
Trying to
steal
suppress-
the election.
Suppress a vote. So life is going on. Weddings are still happening. Why?
Yeah. How come there aren't people camped out in front of that guy's house?
I
all the
don't
time?
know for sure.
Why are people getting married? Why can't you
could
put the brakes
push it
on that?
for a year.
Are you worried he's going to suddenly back out or she's not going to want to do it anymore? Why
If-
are you still in this wedding craze?
Let me say it. If you must get married now, have a small civil ceremony.
save a big ass party for when this whole thing ends.
Have a huge party for all the people when it ends, but have the little civil ceremony. You got to do it now.
So, look, if a family member is ill, if you're worried about someone, if you're in a romantic comedy and you have to prove to your father who's dying that you are marrying somebody, fine.
Do the civil ceremony.
Civil ceremony and then
But there's
plan a big
no
party
reason
for
to go through with the big
No.
wedding the way you had thought it would be, but it's going to be
it. Are
compromised.
there bridezillas in the pandemic?
You don't want the clergy, the preacher, the rabbi, the imam, whoever, to say that, lift up the veil and both of you take your masks off.
Right.
And you may kiss the bride.
Or blow a kiss to the bride from a distance.
Only if both of you have been COVID tested.
Right.
Now, like for the ring bearers, can you please set the ring pillow 10 feet away from the bride, which is 10 feet away from the groom?
She will go get it,
And
we will mirror him putting it on her finger.
it's like giving a letter to my mailman or woman. I have to put it down like it's like we're in a hostage scenario. I put
I'm
it down.
laying the letter
I'm
down.
laying it down. My hands are up. This is what I do every day. Every time I have to give him a letter, here it is. My postman was like, "Here, just give it to me." I'm like, "Can we?"
No, I don't think.
I don't think we can. I
No.
laid it down. I was like,
You cannot do that.
"There's nothing in there that's bad. All the stamps are on." Like that's what a wedding is in these
Right.
days. and age.
So there's no dancing at the party. That doesn't seem fun.
Wait. People are still going through with it, and here's a story just to illustrate why you probably should wait. Why is there a wedding?
Great question.
Okay.
That's what we've been saying all along.
Why now? No, that was the question that was written in bright green icing for one couple who ordered a white wedding cake. A photo on Reddit recently
So
shared.
they ordered a white wedding cake, and then
green icing.
I kind of like that.
Like nobody who has ever ordered a wedding cake ever. I mean, you could put green piping on or leaves or stuff.
So
but
wait, so they didn't order the "Why is there a wedding" message on their cake?
Get ready, Jay.
Okay.
Nobody checked it. I love that no one checked. Is this really the message we're putting on here for a wedding?
Right.
This is it.
Why is there a
That
wedding?
feels like something you might want to double and triple check.
Is he right for her?
What's the worst that could happen? You're right and you just do it again. If it's wrong, you caught a mistake. It's one. People don't take the time to check.
No.
The cake snapshot was taken from the wedding vendor's Facebook page, of course, about their clients getting a strange question decorated into the celebratory dessert. Why would any two people getting married ask the question on a wedding cake, why is there a wedding?
Because I think that's someone at the place saying, why are we having a wedding?
I think, or if what's an inside joke?
No.
What if,
Nope.
like a drunk uncle last Thanksgiving told them that they should elope?
Right.
You guys don't need a wedding. You guys should elope.
Why is there a wedding? Shut up, Uncle Dave.
Right?
So, why? No.
So maybe they put it on the cake just to mock him. That would be what I was. Are you mocking an Uncle Dave who told you last Thanksgiving that you guys should elope? That would be my question I would ask.
See, I don't know.
The vendor wrote, "This is why you hire a professional," whose identity was redacted from the post. The vendor's was, "My clients bought this from a local grocery store bakery. It's supposed to say Wiser Wedding."
Oh.
Wiser, I guess, is the last name.
Wiser Wedding. Why is there a wedding? But it is a great question for this moment.
Wiser Wedding. But Wiser Wedding, why is there a wedding?
Somebody took a little liberty.
Someone took a little
Somebody
leap.
in the icing department was like, I'm going to add a little.
That's a bridge too far.
Let me give
a
little
wedding. It's a bridge. Why is there a wedding?
Why is there a wedding?
They added an extra syllable, and to me, that was too far.
This is going to be, look, the vendor said this will be their wedding story, horror story.
Really?
For sure.
This will be their wedding story?
How about the fact that none of the older relatives can come because they're going to die?
Yeah, or that a lot of people in their family probably got COVID.
How about the fact that people are getting shot in the back?
Yeah. This is the biggest horror of their
story
wedding
that you
story.
got a cake. To me, I don't remember what the top of my wedding cake looked like. I don't know that anyone remembers that. You ate it. Who cares?
Maybe, and like Jay said, maybe the groom saw the window with this woman closing and was like, we got to do this now.
Why is there a wedding? Because if we wait, she's not going to be a wiser anymore.
That's right.
That's why there's a wedding.
The miscommunication may not have been what the marrying couple expected, but it has entertained most of the anonymous users at the wedding shaming and facepalm subreddits. It's great when your wedding makes it on the subreddit.
To the facepalm subreddit.
Yeah, that's a great conversation. That's like a conversion of the best day ever to the worst day ever.
I love this. As if the lime green icing wasn't enough.
One user named Coconut and Lime wrote, which received more than 250 upvotes in wedding shaming forums. Finish the sentence, Coconut and Lime. Finish the sentence. You had a chance and you didn't take it right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be nitpicky on your name. It should be, it puts the lime in the coconut.
Yeah.
And mixes all around.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what your name should be on subreddit. I don't want to tell you what
your name
should
kind
be.
of sucks on subreddit.
As if lime green icing wasn't enough, she had to change her last name to Wiser. There you go.
Now that's funny.
Boom. Finished it for you.
There you go.
Could have gotten a bunch more
250. You would have been like 450 upvotes.
I don't know. With the current state of things, I feel like this is a legitimate question. Another user theorized. Maybe the store staff did too.
That's what I was saying all along. Look, they're saying, why are we making a wedding cake? Someone in this icing department is having an existential crisis about why weddings are continuing right now.
An icing crisis.
A crisis.
A crising. This is a crising. Maybe we should all be asking the Wisers that question right now. Why is there a wedding right now?
Why? Why
is there a wedding right now?
Why do we need to have the pageantry? Why?
I would have served the cake on, you guys can wait, plates.
Yeah.
If that's what it said on the plates, that's what I would have served.
What's the rush?
As a person who works in a grocery store bakery, I've seen some things someone else commented. It's real weird what people want for their weddings on the cheap. So maybe this is why they didn't ask, because they're like, we've seen it all in the grocery store.
Right. They said, why is there a wedding? We got to do what they said.
They're like, these guys are getting their wedding cake at a grocery store.
By the way,
we can't ask them any follow-up
But I'm going to say this. So they definitely called it in. This is not something you do because
Over the phone.
when you're in person, you say, and maybe this is part of the pandemic.
COVID.
Another reason why you don't have it.
This is why you wait.
When you are making a cake order, I've ordered birthday cakes at Ralph's. Makes a great sheet cake.
I'm gonna say this: grocery store
sheet cake is the best thing you'll ever have
because they have they don't care. They're like, we'll put the chemicals in that killed a bunch of kids in 1978.
We don't care. It
don't
makes
care.
it taste better. The
That's right.
icing is the best thing you'll ever have.
Grocery store
The
wedding
sheet
cake.
A sheet cake from a grocery store is God's gift to the world. Okay, but whenever I get one, I go in there and I'm like, let me see what you're
What are
writing.
you going to write
this.
on there?
Let me see. Her name is Noah. Is my daughter's name? Nope. There's no H in there. It's just N-O-A.
That's your fault for naming her that. If
would've
the
been
message
no, it's
doesn't
not.
make sense, neither does the entire venture. That's what I would say. It's not immediately clear whether the mystery couple was able to replace the cake or refund it before they walked down the aisle. Well, they aren't a mystery couple. Like, we should know who they are,
They're
right?
the Wisers.
They're the Wisers.
We're none the Wisers.
I'm hoping they at least get a new cake. Don't you think?
Yes.
Or get a free divorce cake when this thing doesn't work out. Because if you have to get married right now,
I don't think you get a divorce cake. I think those are cupcakes.
Is that cupcakes?
So each one can take one their own separate way.
Anyone betting on this thing to last? There is no way this wedding lasts. There's no way this marriage
Well,
lasts.
the blame game will certainly go around with who messed up the cake. It was
Definitely.
his job. He had one job this whole
All you had
wedding.
to do was communicate it the right way.
Communicate to them what the wedding cake's got to be, and this is what you come up with.
And again,
You're ruining my special day that I can't wait till after COVID to have.
I go back to the original question that was put on it.
Why is there a wedding? Wisers.
All right, there you go. That's the first story. Down in the books.
Wisers, by the way, seems like a hipster way of saying why.
Right. They're wisers.
Yeah.
They just
Ask
ask
some
why
questions.
all the time.
Wisers.
There's a bunch of wisers. Why is this?
Wisers.
Why is that? There are a bunch of wisers. All right. When we come back, a gentleman in England who was traveling through a small town of England does something so stupid. You are going to want to stick around and listen to it. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. As we mentioned, and we always mention,
We're through the weekend. I don't know how many tickets we sold. I'm sure we're up over 300 right now. Back last Wednesday morning, there were only 10 VIP tickets left for the after show. There are probably a bunch left for the pre-show meet and greet, which were so much fun. We got a chance to talk and hang with you guys. But this show on September 26th with Mike Birbiglia and Mike Doty, lead singer of Soul Coughing, is going to be so good. Live Dumb Peopletown. Go to eventbrite.com. Look up Live Dumb Peopletown September 26th. Get your tickets now. It is going to sell out.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I've said this. After I saw The Trip with
love
Steve
The
Coogan,
Trip.
and we started watching the Italian
Yes.
Trip. It's so good.
The Italian Trip is on Netflix?
Yeah, and then there's the Greek Trip. I mean, I want to watch all of them.
Yes.
I have wanted to take a driving trip through the English countryside so badly.
Effing men.
Like, you know what I mean? It'd be like The Trip with slightly fewer Michael Caine impressions. Although my wife and I would, I'm Michael Caine.
I'm Michael Caine.
My voice goes down like this. And I start to talk like this. And I'm Michael Caine. And it goes down like that.
Okay.
All right. It feels like it would be a blast.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe in 2025, when all this crap is over,
Sure.
we'll do it.
Yes.
Okay? Let's set our sights for that and hope to God that we can do a trip like that. Okay?
Although getting on those little tiny
Driving down the
roads-
other side of the street, I think would be on the other side of the car and the other side of the road would be a very difficult adjustment. I would figure it out, but it would be tough. And then the tiny roads
right
through
turns
the
or left
villages,
turns. Right,
right?
turns or
I
left turns.
know.
It'd be too tricky. I think it'd be really hard for me to figure out.
Even for experienced British drivers.
Yes.
Here's a story that proves just how hard it is to get yourself out of a situation you get into if you don't do it correctly.
Okay.
If this isn't a metaphor for everything we're going into right now, I don't know what it is.
Look what we're in right now. We got to
If you-
get out of it correctly or we're screwed.
Don't do the thing you think you can do. This is like, do the thing that you're supposed to do. Take the right measures. Take the correct amount of time. Don't
overreach.
Don't cut a corner. You can't cut a corner on a vaccine or anything. All right, here we go. He had to call for help from nearby fishermen after the 4-day-old Lexus SUV got stuck on the stone as he did a
stone wall.
stone wall as he did a 3-point turn or attempted a 3-point turn.
On a stone wall.
Now, I'm sure that wasn't embarrassing at all.
What are the fishermen going to do?
Other than ridicule you by asking you over and over what you were thinking. If I was a fisherman, I'd keep it. What were you thinking?
Yeah, seriously, what were you
repeatedly.
thinking?
I so want this guy's wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or husband to be in the car
telling him
just
at every
shaking
turn,
his or her head.
do not do this.
And when the fishermen are there, just
I told him not to do it.
I told him that he can't do it.
I told him he's overreaching.
Just looking at them like, what am I supposed to do? I told him.
I live with this guy. You only have to deal with him for 30 minutes.
You ready for this? It blocked the road for 2 hours before villagers in Cadgwith, Cornwall, helped it back in the road. Okay, so
you had to get the whole village involved?
Well, but it's the only road in the village. It's the main artery. You blocked that for 2 hours, dummy, because you thought...
he tried to make a 3-point turn and turn around
and got stuck. It's like the scene in Austin Powers where he's like trying to get out of the thing and it's just back and forth.
God.
That was it, and he couldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
Nobody can go in or out because of you, dummy. People need stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this attitude.
You don't got it.
You never had
it.
And you will never have it.
You don't got it.
Anytime you think you're pulling a shortcut, it's going to screw you.
That's
Anytime you don't do phase 3 of the vaccine testing, something's going to go wrong.
That's right.
You got to do all of it. You got to go the resident.
And maybe even in a small village. Okay, maybe that's a small village. That's it. But like, you got to do it.
Resident Ed Birchmore, 50. And again, 50. If I was reading resident of a small village in London,
Northern England,
50, I'm thinking this guy's got gray hair.
He's got an old driver's cap.
That's how old we are.
He's like the butler in Arthur. That's what I'm thinking.
John Houseman?
No,
that wasn't Houseman.
Gielgud?
Yeah, John Gielgud. I was just sitting outside the pub in Cadgwith having a pint. We're having more than one pint. Let's all be honest about what we were drinking.
Okay. Yeah.
When the driver came down and asked if he could use the tractor as he had gotten stuck. How's using the tractor going to work?
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Lift it up and move it to the side?
If I'm the person who he's asking about using the tractor, I'm going to be like, what did you do to your car that you now want to use my tractor to screw that up with?
Yeah. You're going to mess that up too.
So, of course, he goes on to say, a few of us went in to have a look, and it was clear that the maneuvers he tried to do was just impossible.
Right.
I'm sure that statement could have been said about a lot of things that this guy has done in his life.
This guy's whole sex life.
The maneuvers he tried to pull
were troubling.
Right.
At best.
Caused more damage than they did help.
They got us stuck.
Right. You need someone to bail you out of your bad decision making again.
Car was totally wedged with the front wheel about 6 inches off the ground.
6 inches off the ground. That's you still not getting that it's
underside of the car must have been pretty damaged too. Yeah. Tried to wedge it in there.
You tried to wedge it.
And he blocked traffic for 2 hours.
Like he was pissed at the village for some reason, for being idyllic, for being too cute.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate this Cornwall
How
village.
dare you be so adorable?
He was going to put an end to this fairy tale village
by wedging his car in the one main artery that goes in and out of
the poor.
So he's on a bridge. I'm assuming. Right?
No, he's just in a road and he got stuck on a wall. Oh, the poor fellow said he only had it 4 days. So this is the biggest idiot ever. If you only have a car for 4 days, you are going to.
You don't try to turn around.
Pull any moves
in a stone wall.
Like I can't get around here. I'm going to drive as long as it takes till I get a roundabout. If
I go 40 miles in the opposite direction just to get to an actual roundabout where I can come all the way around.
This is the best line. A couple of locals who are regulars at the pub went off and got some fishermen, and then after a little while, a couple of police showed up. A couple of locals who are regulars at a pub is a nice way of saying a couple of drunks.
Couple of drunks. 2 alcoholics.
A couple of guys.
2 alcoholics went and got another alcoholic who happens to fish, and they grabbed 2 cops.
A couple of guys who aren't speaking to their wives went and got a couple of fishermen. A couple of guys who just opened a month's worth of mail in the bar. Just got a couple
of guys whose pants don't fit anymore.
Those guys
went out and got a fisherman.
Couple of guys who were just shouting at the cigarette machine for being a pussy. Those guys.
Couple of guys who haven't seen daylight in a few months. They went out. They grabbed a fisherman.
And their help was not to help this guy. Their help was to go get somebody else to go help him out.
Right. Let's go get a fisherman because he would know how to fish this car out of the situation.
People who are actually doing something with their days, people who still speak to most of their families.
Although when you're fishing, I don't know. What are you doing? You're baiting the hook.
You bait the hook and you reel it in. But other than that, you're sitting around and doing less than the people who are at the bar.
Right. They're lifting constantly and pulling something to their face.
They managed to manhandle it out of the spot and onto the main road, meaning they scratched the F out of that thing.
Yeah.
You know, they just dinged that thing up and scratched it.
They're like, you got to live with this, bro.
The driver hopped back in his car and was on his way. I would not be hopping at that point. I'd be running out of there.
Or I would be meekly, embarrassingly crouching back into my car.
I would
apologize.
I would, like Bruce Springsteen, take a ride and just keep on going.
My walk would be an apology.
Yeah. Two totally different lives led. That's just it. I would judge my life as the time before I wedged it into a wall in Cornwall, and he cornwalled the car.
There's no way you can be respected after a cornwall.
And then the time after you cornwall your car,
no one's going to respect your judgment ever again, and they shouldn't. They should not.
Someone said, the guy who was out at the pub said, I saw the guy again the next day in the village, and he thanked me for helping. What?
Don't go back to that village ever again.
Why is he still going back? You want to show your face back there? Again, showing terrible judgment.
Yeah. Why would you ever come back?
Have you
ever learned your lesson?
This is a guy who never learns his lesson.
Yeah.
He's like the guy that Adam Carolla famously talks about in every Steven Seagal movie, who after Steven Seagal takes some dude and breaks his wrist backwards, the next guy who comes up and is like, oh, big karate guy, what are you going to do to me? And then the guy rips his neck off.
Right.
Like, he's the second guy who's
taunting and teasing a guy who just broke someone's wrist is not a good call.
No.
One wrist broken, we end this fight.
You never learn the lesson. He said that he popped back in the pub and put some money behind the bar for drinks for everyone who came to help him out, which was really sweet. Okay.
I like the guy.
I like the guy a little bit more now.
A little bit now, but
or maybe, just maybe he put the money back there so that the guys would get so drunk they'd forget about what they did before.
Yeah, let's get these guys so drunk.
Let's get these guys
so
sauced.
The last thing they remember is me feeding them drinks.
And they'll think that it was a dream.
Let me support their alcoholism and let them think this was all.
Let me support their alcoholism and ruin their memories.
This was but a Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's right. And that's our show. That's how we do it, you guys. Hope you're okay.
If we may have offended, think but this, and all is mended.
That's right.
We say
good night.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Stay protected, stay connected. Don't get infected. And
this is not a hoax.
We got the jokes. Wear a mask, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da.